Shavua Tov. May we have a blessed week. We are learning today the second chapter of Pirkei Avot. May we have a blessed week. And the first Mishnah after Kol Yisrael Shnam Chelek Mamash Shenemarnu Kulam Tzadikim L'Olam Yishu Haaretz Netzer Mata'ai Maaseh Yadai Le'itpaer. We start with the Mishnah that Rabbi Omer Eizei derech yeshara shi'avor lo ha'adam kol she'hi tiferet lo osea v'tiferet lo min ha'adam, which means Rabbi said, which is the proper path for a man to choose for himself? Whatever brings beauty to the person that does it, and it's beautiful to mankind. So first of all, let's talk about Rabbi a little bit. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, which means Rabbi Yehuda the Prince, was the one that wrote the whole Mishnah as we have it today. At that time, Jewish law was getting lost. There were arguments, wasn't clear. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi had a great connection with the government. And because of that, he was able to gather the Jewish people and write the law, decide between everybody, and then eventually write what we have today, the Mishnah, which is the basis for the Talmud. That's all Jewish law comes from the Mishnah. So Hanasi means the prince, but they say that it's Nasi means leader as well, and it's a acrostic of Nitzotzo Shel Yaakov Avinu, that his soul had a spark of Jacob, our father. Why? What was special about Yaakov Avinu? That he learned from his father, Yitzchak, that was Gvura, that was severity. He learned from his grandfather, Avram, that was Chesed, loving kindness. And then he was able to walk in the path of the middle, which is Tiferet. It's very meaningful that we learn this Mishnah today, because tonight on the counting of the Omer is Tiferet Shebe Tiferet, which Tiferet literally means beauty, but it means balance. Why balance? Because it's harmony. Beauty, according to Judaism, is when you have many parts and they are combined in a beautiful way. And it's simple. If you want to talk about beauty in a drawing, you can't have just a black canvas and say, oh, this is beautiful. Maybe modern art, but not real life. You have to combine different colors in a beautiful way. And then you say, oh, this is beauty. They say music. You can't just like one note and they say, this is music, this is beautiful. You combine many notes in a harmonious way. This is beauty. So Yaakov Avinu had that ability. He learned from his father, as we said, he was Yehuda, was strict, severe. He learned also from his grandfather. And that's when Zaydes are so important, because many times children see their father and they go to the opposite extreme. Like Yitzchak saw that Avram was loving, kind, he was giving to everybody, and it's always a way to serve Hashem, but he chose the other extreme, to serve Hashem with strength, with Gevurah. And for a simple example, Avram was digging wells, always. That's what it says. He was digging, making water accessible to everybody, and he was just being kind. Now, what happens to those wells? He didn't care, he was just going, being kind, doing kindness. But the Plishtim came and they covered those wells. The wells were not being functional, were not helping anybody. So what did Yitzchak do? Yitzchak was not chesed. He was gvura, it was about strength. He said, he didn't dig any new wells. He said, no, let me reconquer, find the wells that my father dug and fix them and make them usable. So there are both ways of serving God, but best way is to serve in the path of the middle. The That's what our Mishnah says, talks about Tiferet. Rabbi Yehuda had the spark of the soul of Yaakov Avinu, which is the middle path, the path of the balance, the path of beauty, of combining in a harmonious way everything. And that's why it says, Kol shei tiferet leosea tiferet lo min adam. You have a path in front of you, and you don't know which way to go. There is something that is good for you only, but it says no, it's not enough. It has to bring beauty to the person that does it and beautiful to mankind. So in practical terms, what does it mean? I can sit down and learn Torah for myself now. It's good. I'm learning God's wisdom. Between God and me, it's great. But nobody else benefits, right? Or I can go and interact with somebody else, help someone, and that I bring benefit to mankind as well. So this is the path you should always choose. If you have something can only benefit you, or something can benefit others, choose that path. That's what Rabbi is telling us now. Also, it's important Rambam says, to always go in the path of the middle. What does it mean? If a person will be very careful, let's say with his money, not to say stingy, and save for himself, it will be tiferet lo, it will be fine for him, beautiful for him. But tiferet minada, lo minada, other people will not benefit. On the other hand, if a person will give away all of his money, yes, the world will benefit, but where is the benefit for him? So we have to find the path that helps people, but helps us as well. The same is with anger. If a person gets always angry, no, it's terrible quality. But sometimes it has to be, we can't say, be called like a dead person, oh, I don't care about anything. There is certain things that should upset us, that this is not right, I have to fight for justice. If you remove, like we learn about the Metzorah this week, that why does he have to bring 2 birds as a sacrifice? One is sacrifice and one is we let it fly, because the birds symbolize speech, that are always tweeting, chirping. So you have to slaughter the negative speaking, the Lashon Hara, but at the same time, you have to, the positive speech, the ability to teach, to interact, you have to let it fly. Don't stay, oh, because I seen that speak Lashon Hara, speech is bad and I will cut myself from it. No, use all the gifts that Hashem gives you in a positive way. Don't stop something because you're afraid of failure. No, embrace the positive that you have. The same is if a person doesn't work at all, he will not be able to survive. He has to take care of himself, but also not work all the time. He has to be able to interact with others, and as it says, tiferet lo min ha'adam. The Mishnah continues. It says, be as careful with a minor mitzvahs, with a major one, for you do not know the reward for the mitzvot. So why do we do a mitzvah? We do a mitzvah to connect with God. When I connecting with someone, I'm connecting in his terms, not in my terms. There is a story about a couple that they went to therapy because things were not great, and the therapist told them, listen, I want each to make a list of 10 things that you would like your spouse to change in the relationship, and give it to each other, and next week we'll talk. So they exchange lists, and they meet next week, and the husband says, you know what, my wife did give me a list, but it wasn't a good list. I made my own list of the things that I should do to improve the relationship. So she had written, take out the garbage. She says, I think we'll be relaxing if Sunday mornings I go play golf, will be better for the family. So what is he was doing? He was worshiping himself. He was trying to bring himself pleasure and not success in the marriage. So when we are worshiping Hashem, we're serving Hashem, it's not on my terms. It's not what do I consider to be a big mitzvah, small mitzvah, any mitzvah? It's a way to connect with Hashem, and therefore don't look at the reward that you will get for it. Oh, this is big mitzvah, I'll get a lot of reward. Do it because you're connecting with Hashem. Are all opportunities to serve Him. And then it says the following: consider the loss incurred when performing a mitzvah against its reward, and the gain obtained by committing a sin against the loss it incurs. So, what do we lose when we perform a mitzvah? You know, Limelech asked me today, how does the Yetzer Hara work? What does he tell us? How does he get us to sin? So I told him, you know, he doesn't say, don't do mitzvot, stop. Of course not, because we're not going to listen. He says, you know, wait 5 minutes, 5 more minutes in bed, or 5 more minutes with the phone or something. And then those 5 minutes is, you know, you can take another 5 minutes, and that's how it works. So look, what do we lose when we do a mitzvah? We lose a little time, we lose a little bit of something that we want to indulge ourselves, but what we gain? We gain connecting with God, with eternity, with changing the world for the better. So makes it very easy to make that reflection. Or if you want, in a more physical terms, you know, when a person wants to break his diet, think about it. You gain 1 minute of pleasure maybe from eating what you desire to eat right now, but then it'd be a whole day of regret when a person is on the scale and he realizes that he made a mistake. So we have to always think about that. And then he finishes the Mishnah, reflect upon 3 things and will not come to sin. Know what is above you, an eye that sees, an ear that hears, and that all your deeds are recorded in a book. Anyways, in other words, it means that all our actions are recorded forever, and they have an everlasting effect. And this is something very important to keep in mind. You know, my sister interviewed many people that have near what they call near death experiences, or clinical death, and many of them say that when the soul parts the body, what you become aware is of the consequences of your actions. How when you did something that you thought it was insignificant, you smiled to someone, you encouraged someone, you helped someone, you realize all of a sudden that didn't stop there. Your kindness, that person, he paid it forward somehow. He generated waves and ripples of kindness around the world. And the opposite also. And people realize how painful it is, even a little mistake. And on the other hand, how beautiful it is when you do a mitzvah, when you help someone, when you bring kindness into the work. And what everybody, as far as I know, shares is that when the soul parts the body, the main message, what you realize it's important in life, is kindness, how you treat other people. And all the people that have these experiences, really, that's what they change. They are so much kinder, and they look out for others, and they find ways to share their love to each other. Let's learn another Mishnah, Mishnah 2. Rabban Gamliel, son of Rabbi Yehuda, as he said, Torah study goes well with derech eretz work, since the toil of both of them makes misdeed scarce. So it's very important to have a balance in life, you know, especially these days that people are at home, they're not going out so much. So derech eretz is work, and says the toil, you have to work, you have to make to use your body. It's very important to exercise. I see myself when I work out, when I exercise, my day goes in a different way. It's much more positive. So while, of course, I'm sure everybody's spending many hours learning Torah now that we're home, we're not commuting, we're not spending too much time outside, it's very important also to take care of our bodies, make sure that we eat right, that we exercise, and we are a good role model for our families. They see that we behave the way we should be behaving. And not only that, that the combination of both, says mashkachat avon, makes the person less likely to sin. And then he continues, and all who serve the community should do so for the sake of heaven, for the merit of their forefathers assist them, and the righteousness endures forever. And God say, I will bestow great reward upon you as if you accomplished alone. So anyway, in other words, when you work for the community, you're successful, you help beyond the measure of your effort, your abilities, yet the reward that you get is as if you did it all by yourself. And it's something interesting in the notes that says if because you were working for the community, you missed out on your personal service to Hashem, because you were doing something for Tzorchei Tzibur, for the community, for the Jewish people, then as God considers as if you did it yourself. The last Mishnah I would like to learn with you today is Mishnah Gimel, the third Mishnah, Evu Zeirim V'Rashut. Be wary of those in power, for they befriend a person only for their benefit. They seem to be friends when it's so to their advantage, but they do not stand by a man in his hour of need. It seems similar to a Mishnah we learned last week about be careful of politicians, so those in power. Sorry, a little noisy here. Thank you. But the Rebbe explains what we're talking inside, in the small universe, which is the human being. Who are those in power? Your mind, your heart, and your animal soul. And they crave things, they desire things. And sometimes say, oh, no, this is good for you. But you have to ask, who is you? Who is me? Am I my physical body, my animal soul, my heart, or I'm my soul? So they seem to befriend a person, saying, I'm doing this for you, but the real me is my soul. And I have to make sure that I'm not being manipulated by those that are controlling me, by those physical desires, into do something for their benefit, but to make sure that whatever I do is for the benefit of my godly soul, which is really who I am. I was sharing with Dini today how lucky we are that we have one day a week, which is Shabbat, where we can indulge in foods that are tasty. I try, for instance, not to eat sugar throughout the week, but on Shabbat, because it all elevates to Hashem, we're allowed to eat not only the healthiest, but also tasty foods on Shabbat. But we have to make sure that we frame everything physical that we do in a godly way. We do it for Hashem. It's traditional to finish the Pirkei Avot study with Rabbi Hanania ben Akashomer, Ratzah Kadosh Baruch Hu zakot et Yisrael, Ficha chir v'alem donos shenemar, Adonai chafetz aman tzidko yagdil to Rabbi Adir. Hanania says, why does God give us so many mitzvot? Because He wants to give us opportunities to do good, to increase our merits, and we have to cherish each one of them. It's an amazing gift from Hashem, and we appreciate every opportunity to do a mitzvah, and we do it immediately, and God, when we see how much we cherish His mitzvot, will give us more and more zechuyot. Somebody, a good friend, asked me on the Tzvi Melach, asked me, something interesting happened to me. I found a wallet, and thank God it had a driver's license, so I was able to return it to the house of the person. As I'm getting back in the car after returning the wallet, and I was really feeling good about doing this beautiful mitzvah, I see flying envelope, and I look, and it has a social security check inside, and it's an address not too far from here. And I was able to go to this second place and return again a check that Social Security, I'm sure, was very much needed. And it says, how strange is that? What are the chances that you can do in 5 minutes 2 mitzvot like that? It says, chances are that God gave you that gift because you treasure the fair mitzvah. You're so happy to return a lost money to one person. God made it easy for you to do it again And again, it's what we call the snowball effect of the mitzvot. I want to bless all of us that we should cherish the mitzvot, enjoy them, and God will give us more and more mitzvot to serve Him with happiness. Shavua Tov. Have a blessed week. Looking forward to learning with you, God willing, every day. 8:30 p.m. 8 p.m. every day besides Saturday nights on the same media that you're seeing. Shalom.